Hello, my name is Barbara Claris, and welcome to another episode of Views from Bridge. Today, I am excited to introduce Ms. Lisa Hensley, who is the Managing Director of Homeownership Programs at the Connecticut Housing Finance Authority. Now, Lisa brings with her over 30 years of industry knowledge in affordable housing and mortgage financing. And we also have with us our very own Alison Malkin, broker owner, who obviously has a background in real estate and also mortgage financing. And today, Alison is going to be conducting our interview. So sit back, relax, enjoy this interview. Hope it's very informative for you. So Alison, I'm handing it over to you.
Okay, Barbara, thank you so much. And Lisa, let me add my thanks. We so appreciate you coming here today. You have such an amazing program.
Well, thank you so much for having us. I just, I love an opportunity to get the word out about CHFA's first-time homebuyer program. So thank you.
Absolutely. Well, let's start with that. Tell us about the program. Tell me what the highlights are, why it is such a great program for first-time.
Sure. Well, CHFA's programs enable first-time homebuyers to purchase a home with a lower cost of mortgage insurance, no money down, and below interest market rates, resulting in a lower monthly payment to give them more purchasing power, as well as obviously a lower payment. Also, we offer conventional financing as well as government financing, such as FHA, VA, and USDA rural development programs. Additionally, we have our down payment assistance program, which is referred to as DAP. And our DAP can cover the entire minimum required down payment plus closing costs up to a maximum of $20,000. And it's structured as a 30-year fixed 1% rate.
I know, that's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. We love that. My buyers love that.
Yeah,
absolutely. So one of the reasons we're having you on today is we really want the realtors to understand your program. There's so many misconceptions. We want them educated on multiple levels. So let's start with this. You have something called the CHFA, the Connecticut Housing Finance Authority Real Estate School. Let's start with that. What could somebody learn by going to that?
Well, the CHFA Real Estate School provides realtors with continuing education credits and an in-depth overview of CHFA's products, the eligibility criteria, the guidelines, and what has changed. And we have been making a lot of recent changes, so it's something that people will want to get involved in. And the other thing, of course, is that it does offer the actual credits for continuing education. So that's a good
That's right, the little carrot and the stick. We'll give you some knowledge and you get CE credit. Right. But it's really important because as an agent, as a listing agent, I've found so many buyer's agents don't understand the program. And so therefore, you know, it's really hard. So let's talk about those from your perspective. I mean, you must have lots of conversations with people. What are the realtor misconceptions so that we can educate the other listing agents?
Sure. I believe the biggest misconception is that it's harder to obtain a CHFA loan than a normal lender loan. Other than income and sales price limits, first-time homebuyer requirements, and maximum ratio requirements, the program changes over the last 1+ years have made it so that our programs almost mirror the standard conventional and government mortgages.
Oh, absolutely. And it's funny because people say, oh, it takes so long, and forget about the crush when we had time to own. I mean, I get that. I looked at your website, you know, you're working on today's, you know, the files. So I have seen misconceptions that people think it's going to take forever, not even during the time to own time frame. They just don't understand you submit the file, right?
Right, exactly. So prior to the time to own, our turn times were easily 48 hours or less. I will say that there was a time when, after we launched the time to own program, that we did fall 30 days behind, but we have since staffed up. We're ready to keep going and keep those turn times at 24 to 48 hours.
And I might add something to your defense. That is a typical issue in the mortgage industry when volume fluctuates, because
that's exactly right.
You don't have enough people to handle the new volume coming in, but you're not going to maintain a huge personnel when there's not. So that
Exactly.
you're easily forgiven because there's not one mortgage company or bank out there that has not experienced the same issue. So,
Thank you.
no, but it's true.
It's
And I
true.
think that there needs to be that understanding that it's the same function. You have underwriters and you have people who are evaluating the loans based on published criteria. So there's no magic to it is the point. It's very simple.
Exactly.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Where do you, because it's great that you've been in other housing authorities, where do you think you could do better? Is it technology? What?
You know, I've been thinking about that. Now, technology has been a big thing on my radar because it would be nice if we could enhance it to be a little more user friendly. But one of the bigger things, because that's going to take a while, that I've been looking at is streamlining our review process. We feel that maybe looking at files just to meet our criteria instead of doing a full loan review to make sure that the files meet Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA guidelines. We think that might really help move the process along. And then we can rely on the lenders to do what they do best, which is to underwrite per Fannie, Freddie, FHA,
Sure.
VA standards. So that's
Sure.
a big thing on my list to try to accomplish soon.
I think that's actually really smart and it makes sense. And you're focusing on the part that you do and what you're concerned about, because let's face it, you're not going to be in partnership with a lender if they don't know what they're doing.
Exactly.
Okay, good luck on that. I'm gonna hope for you. I'm gonna hope for that. I want to ask you about the technology because of course people love to blame CHFA for things. Is there something different in your interface in terms of uploading, or is it a portal? Like what causes the delays?
We have a secure portal where files must be uploaded, and that's separate from where the lenders make their reservations. So it's sort of a multi-step process.
Got it.
And I really would love to see one system be able to have the capability to do everything.
That makes sense to me because it's really funny. Some of the lenders out there, boom, boom, no problem. But that's because they understand the process. Okay, so again, yeah, it would be nice if it was one, but this isn't brain surgery. Learn the process. I get it. I get it. So what else do you want to tell us about the program?
Well, we're always looking for ways to improve our programs and assist even more first-time home buyers. And program enhancements will be continuously evolving. But we also appreciate hearing from realtors about any obstacles they experience during the process to aid us in identifying possible inefficiencies.
Okay, so here's a question I have, and maybe it's just because I don't understand the reasoning behind it. And again, I'm not a lender anymore, so I'm not there. On your website, my understanding, at least is what the lenders tell us. My understanding is that when they submit a file, let's say they're missing something, whether it's a CHFA requirement or their own, then you send them essentially like an incomplete list.
Right.
But if you look at the CHFA website where it says, loan status, it says not received yet. So what's the reasoning behind that? I'm just thinking as a realtor, so I can.
Sure. So I think that what we have an initial compliance review, and that compliance review is basically saying, we've looked at the file and we don't have everything that we need even to underwrite the file.
Okay.
So then they submit whatever was missing, and then we can move on to, okay, we've received it. Now we're going to underwrite it. So now you'll see that it's received. So it won't ever show up as received until we actually have all of the, what we call documents from the document checklist. Okay, so if they miss something, it won't show received because we can't consider it received. We can't review it.
Okay, but in that checklist, these are material items.
Correct. Or should be. Now, let me go back to.
No, this is good to know because then we can get after our people because I'll tell my people what to do.
Right. Well, and the other thing that I want you to be aware of is that there have been some things that have been in practice for so many years that I think should not have been, and we've been changing, but not everyone's aware of it. For example, a lot of lenders said that they had, and my staff said that they required that the occupancy permit and the final inspection be included in a file at the time of submission. Well, many times these don't come until the day of closing. Absolutely. So we've changed that to say, okay, just make sure you get it and provide it to us by the time you deliver this loan. Okay, so that we're not holding things up.
Yeah, okay. So you're really common sense. We love you. How long have you been there?
I think I've been here 1 year and 5 months. I started November 1st a year ago.
Wow. Well, it sounds like you really apply common sense, and it's, you know what it is? It's your industry background. It's not just government background, and you're used to making things happen. That's really, really cool.
Well,
What are
thank
some
you.
of the changes, by the way, that you've implemented? So this particular one with regard to COs and stuff, what else? What other changes?
So some other changes that we've made is we, on our down payment assistance program, which I'll refer to as DAP, we used to have a separate criteria for the ratios for qualifying. We've done away with that. So now it's either you have a 45% debt to income ratio on government, you have a 50% debt to income ratio on conventional. So we've eliminated a lot of the overlays that created barriers for first-time home buyers. The cost to commute counties as a debt is gone. The credit overlays where we would require that collection accounts and such be paid even when the first mortgage did not require it. We've done away with that. We don't require $1,000 minimum investment from the borrower.
I remember when that changed. That was you. Nice.
Thank you. We also changed it so that the borrowers can indeed receive funds back at closing for those things that they paid for in advance that were verified, such as, I want to do a no money down, but the seller needed a $2,000 EMD. But I want my $2,000 because I want to go buy a washer and dryer. We will allow them to have that money back at closing. That's
actually really important that you bring that up, because that was always a huge issue, because literally people didn't have the money and this is very little. And what is the point? That is beautiful. That is really good.
Thank you.
We're thrilled you're here.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
Because there's so much that's out of reach to so many people. And you're applying common sense with tried and true lending practices, and you are really bringing a breath of fresh air into this. This is really super.
Thank you. Well, I love what I do. I love helping first-time home buyers. It's just something I did when I was in private, in the private world, and I've loved doing it since I've joined the HFA world, and I love it here in Connecticut. So I thank you very much for all your support as well.
Well, thank you. Let me just ask you, if there's one message you could give to all the realtors out there, what would it be?
I would say that please talk to your sellers about looking at borrowers that are using CHFA products. Remember, if all things are equal, this is an easy program, and it's so rewarding to do this type of work for a first-time home buyer. So much more rewarding than if probably other people who have already owned before.
Absolutely, 100%. It's your soul food. I agree. Completely agree. Okay, well, once again, thank you so much for spending this time with us. You're going to be so sorry that we now know you. And we wish you a wonderful day. And I'm going to turn this back over to Barbara briefly just to finish up. Lisa, thank you.
Thank you.
Lisa, thank you so much. Alison, thank you. Great information. Hope you guys out there got some good nuggets, good information that you could use to enhance your businesses. And again, thank you for watching Views from Bridge. For any questions or comments, please email us at ghar@gharonline.com. Have a wonderful day and go out there and get that business.